Are you confused on what information out there you should trust when it comes to holistic health? I am here to help you learn about some holistic health experts and health educators that really know what they're talking about. So this episode is actually a re-recording. It's episode number 27 from my podcast, and I'm re-recording it because the sound quality was a little bit not as good as I had hoped it could be. So I'm re-recording this to sound better, and I might also add a couple new ones in there that I didn't already know about when I recorded it. So we live in a world where education and information is really abundant, and it's very quick to access. You can learn about any given subject within minutes. You can know more than the average person about that subject within a few days if you really work hard at it. And you can possibly become an expert on any subject within a few weeks. So, with an abundance of information comes many varied opinions on the validity of that information. Some people will only trust certified health experts, such as doctors and, people that have degrees, of course. And I agree. Some people say that you can read anything online and believe it. Other people think that everything you read online is false. A lot of people question things that they learn for a long time until they can safely believe that it's true. And this is the category that I fall under. I am all about holistic health, and I study from so many experts, and I hear so many different things, and how I come to my conclusion with who is believable, who I can trust, it comes with time. Comes with research. It comes from hearing the same information multiple times from different people that I respect. And I don't just take anything at face value. I do my research. And so this is my role, is to help you, to guide you to this information. Because many doctors and many teachers don't have all the answers. Many influencers and bloggers only have opinions, but one thing is for sure, without this information, you would have nowhere to start. So be sure to be a little, forgiving with yourself. You might find information that you don't know if you can trust, and that's okay, because everybody starts somewhere. And use your intuition as well, because your intuition about what is good or bad for you personally, it really doesn't have too much to do with some things work for you, some things work for others. So it doesn't always have to be factual. So I feel like it's my duty to share everything that I know. This is why I started my business in the first place, to share everything that I learn, as well as share with my audience the resources where I have learned it. And that is what this episode is all about. So this is going to be the first in a 3-part series of podcast episodes where I will share with you different authors, doctors, influencers, bloggers, teachers, gurus, websites, and just any general experts that have helped me in my quest for holistic health education. So in this specific video / podcast episode, I'm going to cover doctors and websites that are ran by professionals in the health field. So this list is going to miss a few that I have forgotten over the years, but most of the consistent ones will all be here. These are the very best of the holistic health resources that I have came across over the last 10 to 15 years. So let's get right into this list. The first one I want to talk about is Dr. Don John Dullard. He is a doctor, author. His field of expertise is Ayurveda. So Ayurveda is ancient wisdom from India. And it's all about prevention. It's all about living in alignment with nature. And if you're any follower of mine, you know that those are two of my biggest messages. So I love Dr. Dullard. He's one of my favorites. His information blows me away. I learn something new from him every single time I watch one of his videos. I have his book called The 3-Season Diet. This is a practical, comprehensive book on how humans should eat according to the rhythms of the cycles of nature. So check him out. He's got a YouTube channel as well. Another expert on Ayurveda that I love is Sahara Rose. So she started off being an author on Ayurveda. She wrote the Beginner's Guide, or the Ayurveda for Dummies, whatever you want to call it. She wrote that book first, and then she evolved, which I think is amazing, because I think it's great when people grow and change and learn to share new things that they learn with the world. It's not always the same thing all the time. So she has evolved to more of the spiritual side. She is the host of the Highest Self podcast, which is the #1 podcast in spirituality at the time of this anyway. So I highly suggest that you check out her podcast either on YouTube or iTunes. She also posts her episodes on YouTube. So I learned much of what I know about Ayurveda from her course, as well as her best-selling book. It's actually called Idiot's Guide to Ayurveda. I couldn't remember it, so that's the title, if you want to look that up on Amazon. She is just a joy to listen to, and I learned so much from her. She's another one that every episode or video she does resonates with me so much, and it's such profound information. So I highly suggest checking out Sahara Rose. The next expert on my list is Dr. Deanna Minnick. She is someone that I just absolutely loved from the first time I met her at, it was a Mind, Body, Spirit Expo. She did a talk on how to eat healthy according to the colors of the rainbow. She's all about the colors. So her field of expertise is functional medicine. So this is all color-coded systems as far as like the rainbow diet, and she also touches into spirituality as well. She's very entertaining, very interesting, very informative. She has many books on Amazon, so I highly recommend checking out some videos by her and her books as well. The next expert I'm going to talk about is Dr. Bruce Lipton. You might have heard of him. He's a little more on the famous side from the rest of these people on this list, because he is a famous stem cell biologist. And this is why I trust him so much, because anybody who works in the fields of science, but also combines their knowledge of, biology with spirituality, that is the gap that I'm interested in, bridging that gap in between those two, between science and spirit. So he also talks about quantum physics. His field of expertise is epigenetics, which means above genetics. And so he talks a lot about the fact that we are in control of our health more than we think we are. We are not victims of our genetics. Our genetics is a blueprint that we are born with. However, we can activate those receptors, and we can control our health to some extent with our lifestyle, with our environment. It's all about the environment that you're in. So he has many talks on YouTube. They're always eye-opening. I highly recommend checking out Bruce Lipton if you haven't already. So the next one on my list here is going to be slightly different. And this is a nutrition expert who has a YouTube channel. That's where most of his information comes from. He is Bobby Parrish of the Flav City YouTube channel. So his field of expertise is creating healthy meals that taste good. And he also focuses a lot on ingredient labels. I've mentioned him many times because he is the main one that I have learned from when it comes to reading ingredient labels. He has a website that is full of healthy recipes, but where he really shines, where he really stands out, is his YouTube videos. So he will share with you which ingredients to look for, which ones to avoid, the healthiest, cost-effective products to buy at all the major grocery chains, such as Costco, Aldi, Trader Joe's, Whole Foods. So after I discovered his videos, I never really looked at ingredients the same way again, because you will learn which ones are good, which ones are bad. And like I said, he also makes videos of himself cooking these healthy meals that, he uses these foods that he buys in the stores, which you actually go with him into the store in these videos, and he shows you, and he buys them and goes home and cooks with them. It's just absolutely amazing. One of my favorite YouTube channels, that is Bobby Parrish of Flav City YouTube channel. The next one on this list is Thomas Dullard. He is a expert on fasting and the keto diet. So if you are into ketogenic diets, then this is one guy you're going to want to follow. He lost 100 pounds using this diet and fasting tips, and now he helps others do the same. I discovered his YouTube channel when I started doing intermittent fasting, which is another great subject I could talk about for a while. I've talked about that before. I think I have a podcast about that as well. So he is one of the best experts on this subject because of the fact that he did it himself. He has experience. He knows a lot about fitness and nutrition. So he is really good at explaining things to the beginner. So I would definitely check out Thomas Dullard. So that's another great one. The next one here is actually a supplement information website called Consumer Lab. This website has a monthly membership, but it's worth it. What you get in return is access to independent studies of every supplement and health product out there. You will know which ones actually contain what their labels say, and you will get their top picks based on quality and cost. This is such a great website, and whenever I buy supplements, I always check with them first to see which ones are going to have the right ingredients, which ones are going to be cost effective and quality, very good quality. The next expert on my list is, it's actually a school. It's a website called the Joyful Belly School of Ayurveda. I talk about Ayurveda a lot, as you can tell, and this is one of my favorite websites about Ayurveda. They also have a YouTube channel where they give amazing free information. The guy that runs it gives a lot of really good webinars for free on his YouTube channel of the Joyful Belly School of Ayurveda channel. And my actual favorite thing about their website is they've got a section on there where you can take quizzes to determine your body type. And once you determine what your body type is, you will be able to tell which foods that you should eat to make yourself healthier. So this is another subject that I have talked about in depth before about Ayurveda, and learning your body type is crucial. I've actually got an online course about Ayurveda. I'll leave a link to that below if you want to take my course. But on this website, you can take these quizzes and learn what your diet should be. And they actually have a little section there where you can get lists of recipes that are just for your body type. So definitely check out Joyful Belly School of Ayurveda. There's a lot of Ayurveda sites out there, and I actually have a blog on my website about more, where I'm going to give more of these health experts. I will leave a link down below in the show notes for that, because there's just a lot of them. And I'm going to move on now to some other ones just to give a little bit more variety. But I do talk a lot on my blog about more Ayurveda experts. So this next one is actually Ayurveda as well, but I really have to talk about him because he's the one that I learned most of my information from when it comes to Ayurveda, and that is Dr. Mark Halpern. He is the founder and president of the California College of Ayurveda. He is one of the first practitioners of Ayurveda in the United States. So this stemmed from his success in healing himself of many of his own health issues through Ayurveda. He was very, very ill. He couldn't get out of bed for months, and he used Ayurveda to heal himself. And that is what made him start the first college of Ayurveda in the US. I have taken one of his courses, I have read a couple of his books, and I am always learning something new from him. So definitely check out the California College of Ayurveda. You don't have to go to the college. You can just learn the information from the website. Dr. Mark Halpern used to have, well, he kind of still does have a YouTube channel, but he doesn't post new videos anymore. But I think you can still watch all of the old ones. The old ones are amazing. The next one on my list is Dr. Joe Dispenza, and many people have probably heard of him because his field of expertise is neuroscience, and he talks a lot about rewiring your brain for optimal health, personal transformation. So he's one of the few experts who teaches not only physical health, but also more like mental and spiritual as well. It kind of crosses over into the world of consciousness, and it kind of gives more of a holistic understanding of true health. So he's got many books. He talks a lot about meditation, reaching certain brain states, manifestation, all sorts of amazing things. He's a scientist, he's a doctor. You've probably heard of him as well. He's probably maybe a little more famous than some of the other ones that I've mentioned on this list. So check out Dr. Joe Dispenza if you have not already. And again, I'm going to leave a link down below to my blog post where I give links to all of these experts. And I also have other ones that I'm not going to talk about because this would just be too long of a video for that. So check that out. And I'm going to continue to cover a lot of my favorite experts because I believe that sharing is one of the best ways to spread good information, and I'm always on the search for, the best people to learn from. I really am not interested in taking everything at face value, so you can trust that I have high standards for the information that I learn. So anybody that I share is definitely going to be someone that you can trust. So thank you for listening to this episode, watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.